Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast we bring you each and every week on the upper tier. If you go out to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. We're in the 900s now, looking to get to 1,000 before the start of the season. And of course, this is video 999. We're on the cusp of 1,000 videos on the channel. 1,000 uploads on the channel, which is absolutely huge for us. But this is a Liverpool update. Of course, there's only one reason why I'm on. We're on the drive home. There's a bit of traffic, all the usual stuff. But is there any Liverpool news today, folks? Well, of course there is. There's plenty of Liverpool news, and we spoke about it the other day, that things were about to take off, that certain little things were being put in place and being discussed and stuff like that. We knew when certain players came back for pre-season that tough discussions may need to be had with the gaffer, and it sounds like those discussions have been had. But before we get into that, I'll tell you what's grinding my gears these days, guys. People, cyclists, we have spent millions on cycling lanes in this country, and yet cyclists don't realise that those lovely empty lanes on the left hand side of the road are for them. And it seems that if they put on these tight jerseys and tight shorts, they all seem to think that they're Lance Armstrong cycling up the Champs-Élysées and they have a right to be out in the middle of the road. Well, it doesn't work that way. That's why we got the cycling lanes. So if you're not going to use the cycling lanes, let us know and we'll start driving on the paths, and you can drive on the roads if it suits you. So it's really grinding my gears these days. Just a little side number there. But let's talk about Liverpool. Lots of news coming out today, of course. We'll start with the good. Darwin getting the number 9 shirt. You know what I mean? Following the footsteps of Rushy and Fowler and various others, Bobby, of course, and all, putting on that 9 shirt. I'm sure he'll be delighted getting the number 9 shirt as well. Absolutely phenomenal. Big boots to fill in that number 9 shirt as well. Hope the man can handle the pressure. Looks like he's wrapping his head around the English language at the moment. We seen it the other day, some of the footage coming out from training and stuff like that. Looks like he's wrapping his head around that. Could be a big season for Darwin Núñez. Second season in there, well settled. Could be getting a bag load of return out of this man now. Hopefully we expect to see it as well. So him getting the number 9 shirt. Thiago Jota as well has been talking about, let's say, reminiscing about last season. And all the challenges that he faced and the injuries and all that stuff, and he said he's going to take all that and use it as motivation to spring into this season as well. That's exactly what we want to hear, isn't it? But the top news, of course, is that it looks like we're getting a serious midfield revamp. Looks like Henderson could be on his way to Saudi in a deal worth somewhere between 10 and 20 million. He's being offered 700 grand a week. 700 grand a week apparently. Can someone tell me if there's anyone on the face of the planet who's going to refuse that deal? And we're not going to, on this show, of course, get into the moral debate about the money versus the human rights issues out there and all that kind of stuff. That kind of conversation takes care of itself. There is a little bit of an issue there with Hendo, of course. He is the ambassador at Liverpool for the LGBTQI plus, I think it is, community and stuff like that. So there is that kind of dilemma there as well. But I think if you have an opportunity to secure your family's financial future, and not only your direct family's financial future, but your children and their children and their children. This is generational wealth here we're talking about in terms of these contracts, folks. So it's absolutely massive for Jordan and his family. And I'm sure it's a decision he didn't take lightly either. I'm sure it doesn't change his stance and his beliefs on all those things and his support for it and stuff like that. I'm sure his support in those areas and stuff like that will still be unwavering. But I think it's really, really important. Context is key sometimes in these things. And I think it's really, really important to take that into account as well. This is an opportunity, like so many we've seen over the last month to 6 weeks of people who have gone there, that just cannot be refused. It's just, you're not going to get an opportunity to do like this again, and I think it can't be turned down. We're also hearing that Fabinho might be on his way there as well. Fabinho, talk of a £40 million transfer as well. Fabinho going out there as well. I'm sure the contract would be huge as well. And there's also talk of Thiago being linked with Barcelona as well. So Thiago could be out the door as well. So I don't know. Let me ask you the question here. How do you feel about this? I mean, there's been divided opinion on this today. Certainly, I don't think in my memory in the Premier League I've ever seen a rebuild of a midfield this dynamic in terms of switching out so many players and likelihood bringing in so many players. So let me know your thoughts on that. But it's certainly driven conversation today. A lot of content creators have been on talking about it now. So I said I'd jump on the way home in the car and have a chat about it. But it's an interesting one because, you know, on the one hand we've lost James Milner, our vice captain. Looks like we're going to lose our captain now, Jordan Henderson. Looks like we're going to lose our DM, Fabinho. Looks like one of our most creative players in Thiago, when he's fit, is going to go out the door as well. So what now? What moves are Liverpool going to make here? What's going to happen, and how do we feel about it? Some people are saying it's an awful lot of experience to go out the door that could leave us a bit exposed. I agree with some of that, but I mean, we've spent the whole of last season talking about, you know, how we feel Jordan isn't necessarily up to it at that level anymore, and that still he'd be vital around the squad in terms of his experience with new younger players coming in and stuff like that, and also he will still take an active part in the season coming up, and he is our captain and all that respect that goes with it. And none of this changes the legendary status of Jordan Henderson at Liverpool. Nothing changes that. That is enshrined and set in stone, no doubt about it. But I think a conversation was probably had there with Jurgen Klopp. You know, we know that they'd been sniffing around Jordan Henderson. So I'd say a conversation was had with Klopp, which somewhat went like, okay, we know you're only going to be potentially a bit part player here. I understand me and you have been on this fantastic, romantic football journey. We've done phenomenal things. Who forgets those images of Klopp's glasses wrapped around him while hugging Jordan when we won stuff, and you know the hugging of the dad and the health issues and the background to that and all that stuff that we love, and all the other trophies that we've won as well, which has been absolutely magnificent for the boy. But at some stage you have to have a conversation, and the conversation has to be, well, what's best for Liverpool Football Club? Because Liverpool Football Club, we're not Jurgen Klopp FC, we're not Jordan Henderson FC, we're not Fabinho FC, we're not any player FC, we're Liverpool Football Club. And what's the best for Liverpool Football Club going forward? Now, is the best that Jordan Henderson leaves now, gets a huge financial contract, which he deserves? I mean, for me, this is a win-win situation all the way around for everyone involved in it. He leaves Liverpool as a legend. He doesn't stay too long to tar his legacy. It doesn't force Jurgen Klopp in to have to make tough decisions this season in terms of when do I play him, when do I bring him in without disrespecting him and all that kind of stuff. What happens to the captaincy, which is a big thing at Liverpool? Who now becomes captain? That's a question for you guys in the comments. Let us know. I suppose it's going to be some sort of a combination of Virgil and Mo. It's probably come a little bit early for Trent. But certainly in the next 3 to 4 years, Trent Alexander-Arnold will be the captain of Liverpool Football Club, all things being equal and everything goes the way we think. But let us know your thoughts on that in the comments as well. Like, I mean, it is a tough one, like, because it's, on one hand, these players leaving who have been such a big part of Liverpool's success over the last 5-6 seasons or whatever it is, have brought us countless memories, trophies, you know, winning the Premier League again after 30 years, you know, winning the Champions League again, bringing number 6 home, and also getting to a number of finals where we just fell short. The quad season where we won both domestic cups, but we just were so close to winning the league and so close to winning the Champions League, just couldn't get it done, you know. And then you look at what we're up against. You look at City just getting stronger and stronger and stronger, winning the treble. Probably will push to try and do a quad this year, might even push to go invincible. We know Pep loves the records and stuff like that. This is what we're competing against now, so there's no room for sentiment, you know. But what I mean by that is there's no room for sentiment doesn't mean it changes the legendary status of Jordan Henderson at Liverpool. None of that changes. That man will get a statue. That man will get a plaque. That man will be welcome back there anytime he wants. He's an absolute legend of the club. He's done what so many captains before him couldn't do. And of course, the draw of going to Saudi, this new project, this league looks like it's like the fledgling brother of the Super League is what's kind of evolving there. The chance to team up with Stevie G again. We remember that day where Stevie passed the armband to him and how monumental it was and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff here to digest. But the main focus for us has to be, if you look at the season that's just gone, you know, we don't want players hanging around to the point where they're vilified to go out the door and it gets really, really toxic. And this year it was getting there. It was getting pretty toxic. And we don't want it to go that way. We want to remember Jordan Henderson and Liverpool for the highs, what he won, those moments and all that kind of stuff. You know, not the guy who was getting overran in midfield, not the guy last season who looked way off the pace, not the guy who looked a shadow of himself. And it's all well and good putting out these videos and the boxing and the training and the abs and trim down and looking the part. That doesn't matter, because if your legs go, your legs go. And if you're, you know, if you're 2-3 yards off the pace in the Prem, it becomes very, very obvious. Really, really obvious. And we don't want it to get that way. So obviously Jordan has weighed up everything. I'm sure he's had a fantastic conversation with the gaffer. I'm sure if he goes, and looks like he's going to go according to Fabrizio and sources in Saudi and stuff like that, it looks like if he goes, he's going at exactly the right time. He's going now where people can still, you know, his legendary status at Liverpool remains intact, and it's not a case of, you know, this wave of hate to get him out the door. You're seeing some disrespect out there for him online and stuff like that. And what I think it is I think most of us as fans, we kind of want the same thing, but just sometimes we word it the wrong way and stuff like that. I think everyone knows what a legend Jordan Henderson is at Liverpool. I think everyone wants the best for him, and when you look at this deal, this Saudi deal, as I said, it's going to financially secure him forever and a day, and his family and his kids' families and everything else. So it's going to be massive from that point of view. It gives him an opportunity to experience a different culture. But what it also does as well is it gives an opportunity for Jurgen Klopp to move on into a new era, appoint a new captain, bring in maybe more new players into the midfield, and really, really rebuild and restart Liverpool again. Like we said, this is what we wanted to happen. So I get it. I get the argument about experience with these players coming in and stuff like that. But let's be honest here. You're talking about Alexis McAllister, this guy who's been balling it out in the Premier League with Brighton, but he's also a World Cup winner. You know what I mean? So there's experience there. Maybe not experience in terms of lifting the big trophies as in the Champions League and the Premier League, but this man has lifted a World Cup. That's pretty monumental with a Lionel Messi in his side and stuff like that. So there's experience there. Plus you have the experience of Virgil being there. Matip is still there, potentially the experience of Mo Salah, Andy Robertson. These are the guys who are going to have to step up now. These are the guys who are going to have to go into that leadership panel that they talk about and step up and you know, bring these guys into the Liverpool way, you know, cement the legacy and the history of the club in there, and how important it is when you pull that beautiful red jersey on, and what the expectation is, that it's like, you know, winning isn't a target, winning is an obligation, and that you should be winning things. We should be in finals, we should be at the tail end of title races and the Champions League, and obviously this year the Europa League, which is quite a disappointment and stuff like that. But I think it's really, really important to remember those things, that we are a Liverpool Football Club, and that players move on all the time. We've seen Stevie move on, you know, plenty of great players. Robbie moved on, plenty of players move on, Michael Owen moved on, they all move on. Mo Salah one day will move on. Hopefully it's later rather than sooner, but Mo Salah one day will move on. But it doesn't tarnish the memories, it doesn't tarnish the great goals, it doesn't tarnish the trophies won, it doesn't tarnish the journey they've brought us on. But if we want to restore that back to Liverpool Football Club, and we want to look at last season as the benchmark where we had fallen off through these transfer windows, this is the work that has to be done, and it might take a bit of time for that to cement in and bed in and figure it out, but this is what we have to do as a club. And the problem with this is we should have been doing this over the last 3 years of transfer windows, moving players out and moving players in. But unfortunately what's happened was we slept on that, and through sentiment and FSG and Jurgen Klopp's stubbornness and whatever else you want to put into that pot, we didn't do that in the midfield. And now what we're having to do, we're having to fix up a midfield in a very short space of time, literally within a window. So no one thought that the change would be to this extent, that you'd have 5-6 players going out of the midfield to be replaced and stuff like that. But in truth, if you step back from it, that's exactly what has to happen. We have to evolve again, we have to go again, and we have to be back there again, battling in the heat of those title races, those finals and all those various different things. And that's the only way that can happen. That's what's so important about it, you know. So let's not lose sight of that while we're very concerned about the experience going out the door, which is grand. And these are all valid. These are all valid comments, and depending on how you feel, you're not feeling the right way or the wrong way. You're just feeling your way about it. Jordan Henderson is our captain. He's my captain. He's Liverpool's football captain. That will always be the case. These moves don't change the history books. They never will. But we've got to evolve. And the gaffer has a plan, and he's had the conversation with these players. They now know where they stand. You've seen the frustration last season. We can't afford to lose any more space and any more pace and any more. We can't afford that gap to grow any further. You see Man City strengthening. Look at what Newcastle's doing in the window. United are going to come back stronger and strengthen. Arsenal doing big things. Chelsea evolving. I mean, look at the evolution of Chelsea going to be over this summer with the amount of players moving out and moving in. It's absolutely massive. We can't afford to fall short again. We can't afford to be languishing in Thursday night football. We need to be at the top table of European football. That's where we belong. That's where our history tells us we should be. That's where our legacy says we should be. And that's what we have to do. Senior players in this squad, you've seen their communications. They've demanded change. They want change. They're no longer willing to pay off years of their career while FSG fixes up. So this is what has happened, and we know next year there's a bunch of contract renewals coming up at the end of this season coming as well, and those guys will be making decisions as well, and at that stage it might be time to potentially move those guys on as well. Only this season will tell. So look folks, let's embrace change. Change is good. I know it's always saddening when we lose these guys and stuff like that, but everything evolves and everything changes, and we got to embrace it. We're Liverpool Football Club. Let's hope that they bring in the right players. Let's hope that the money is spent properly, and that's all we can hope for. Until next time folks, leave your comments down below. Let us know your thoughts. Just a quick Liverpool update on the way home, and I will talk to you again real soon.